So, you obviously you work with a lot of clients with a lot of different situations. And I think where I'd like to start off with is in your practice these days, in terms of difficulties that you see people finding themselves in, and let me just give you a little context, Keely. So, as a real estate broker, usually I'm coming into contact with perhaps a client of yours once they've kind of gone through the process a little bit. But a lot of the people watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, they're usually at the very, very beginning stage. So maybe they've lost a loved one. It's just kind of like it's just starting to hit them. There's real estate involved. Now they're starting to try to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? They're going online. Maybe they stumble upon this podcast. And I'm just wondering, just in terms of your personal experience, what are you finding in terms of like difficulties that people are, find themselves in this kind of stage? And what are some good solutions that you could recommend to them?
Yeah. Well, two parts to that. I want to start with when we find ourselves in that situation. If anyone happens to be listening and they're just trying to preemptively learn about this process, the best thing to do is get the affairs in order ahead of time because well drafted will can save your family months and thousands of dollars. So, having someone to find this ahead of time to make that plan, to appoint someone either through a trust or as an executor to be the person to handle, say, real estate, that's the first step. Who have already, unfortunately, a loved one's passed, they're just dealt the cards at hand. Well, first things first is to kind of gather up the information that you have. So, as loved ones, hopefully your loved one has shared where they plan to keep their documents. And so the family isn't having to search through the house to find the will or documents of the sort. But once they find the document, I mean, first thing is probably just for the ease of mind to talk to a probate attorney to kind of know the steps that they're looking with, depending on if there's a will, if there's not a will, the way the will is drafted or trust, the process can look a lot different for different families. So I think a lot of people take it to Google, they start hearing all these horror stories, and a lot of it might not even apply to them. So just for the ease of mind to kind of have their situation be addressed so that they're not worried about things that they really don't need to be worried about, I think would save a lot of families some extra stress. That being said, though, if I can continue, there's in probate, sometimes, which I know we'll get to, there's a reason to rush the process. Other times, you can put this off a little bit if needed. If it's too emotional for you to talk about it or if it's too fresh, some people they pass away. We've had calls at the office where someone passes away and a few hours later the family calls us. You can obviously we're there as support, but it's really a time to be grieving with your families. And then the attorney's office, we're there when you need it, but it doesn't need to be something always that people jump right into while they're amidst everything else.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, why do you think they rush so quickly to that's kind of interesting, someone passes away and then instantly they call the attorney. What do you think is going on? Maybe it's just panic or they're just they feel they need to do something or
Yes, and they're worried that they're gonna do the wrong thing. So again, it's like that peace of mind. So for some family, yeah, give us a call and we can help put that mind at ease. Unless there's a sale going on or, you're right in the middle of something big, though, most families, like, you have a minute. So go be with your loved ones, mourn the loss of your person and kinda gather up what you need to do first before just jumping into making new problems for yourself, I'd say.